Hi everybody, today I'm going to talk to you about the NIC test, which is the newest test that's offered by the Registry of Interpreters for the Deaf. And this test replaces the CICT test, which is coming to its end in 2008. So this is the test that if you are a new interpreter, you're likely to be taking to achieve your certification. And the NIC test, or any of the tests offered by RID, is very movable or portable with you throughout the United States, which means if you move from state to state, most states will accept your certification from RID using any of the older certifications or using the new NIC test. So let me tell you a little bit about the NIC test. Some important things that you'll need to know. There are three parts to the NIC test. The first part is the knowledge test. The knowledge test is the written examination. And the written exam, which we'll talk a little bit more about on a different video, is 150 questions that are going to test your knowledge of being an interpreter, the interpreting profession, working with deaf. So you must take the written test before you can even take the performance tests. So once you take the written test, if you pass it, you then have 5 years to take and pass a performance test. However, there is a little interesting requirement that is something you need to make sure that you're aware of and that you consider when you decide to take the test. A few years ago, RID decided that they would enact an educational requirement to be able to take the performance part of the test. So here's the deal. You may take the written test without having an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. It is possible for you to pay the fee and register and take the knowledge test or the written test. Once you take and pass that test, you have 5 years to take and pass the performance test. However, you must also have the appropriate degree based on when you decide to take the performance test. So again, just very clearly, you do not need a degree to take the written knowledge test part of the NIC. You must have a degree starting in July of 2009, July 1st, 2009. You must have an associate's degree to be able to take and pass the NIC performance tests. So, and from July 2009 up to and through June 30th of 2012, so beginning July 1st of 2012, if you do not have an NIC certification at that point in time, you will then have to have a bachelor's degree to be able to take the performance test. Now, your degree does not have to be in sign language. It does not even have to be in interpreting. Your degree can be in anything. So if you already have an associate's degree in something, you're good to go starting July 1st, 2009 through June 30th, 2012. If you already have a bachelor's degree in something, you actually are ready to go. You don't have to worry about getting a new degree in sign language or a new degree in interpreting. Your bachelor's degree qualifies you to be able to take the performance test. Alright, so this is information that if you go on RID's website, you can look under www.rid.org and read all the details about signing up for the NIC test, the National Interpreting Certification. Is that correct? The National Interpreter Certification. There are links on RID's webpage to find out the details of everything that I'm going to be talking about. So I expect that you will go online and actually do more research related to the NIC test than I'm going to tell you. Okay, so make sure you visit RID's website. Make sure you start finding out information about the NIC test. And again, there are three portions to the test. There's the knowledge test, which is the written test. There is the interview portion of the test, which we'll talk about as well. And then there is a performance interpreting test. So those are all parts of the NIC certification, and you'll want to make sure that you find out information related to all that. Now, let's assume that you go ahead and take and pass the knowledge test, and you're going to be a candidate for certification. The certifications that are presently offered, there are 3, I'm going to call them levels of certification. The first level, which would probably be considered minimal qualifications, remember, if you remember minimal qualifications from the CICT test, is called NIC. Okay, so the National Interpreter Certification, if you hold the level of NIC, that means that you have passed the knowledge test and that you scored within an acceptable standard range of a professional interpreter on the interview and the performance portions of the test. Okay, so we don't have an exact score, a little different than EIPA where they tell you everything they're looking for. RID does not, which is fine. If you incorporate all those things you learned from the EIPA test, all the things that they evaluate, I'm sure you'll do very well on the the NIC test. So the first level of certification is called NIC. The next level up from the NIC is called NIC Advanced. And in this level, if you achieve the advanced level, you have passed the NIC knowledge exam, you have scored within a standard range of professional interpreter on the interview portion, and you scored within the high range on the performance portion of the test. So to be an NIC Advanced certified member, you will have, again, passed the written test. You will have scored a standard score on the interview portion of the test, and you will have scored a high score on the performance portion of the test. Now, to be the next level up from that is NIC Master. To be an NIC Master, you will have passed the knowledge exam. You will have scored within a high range of professional interpreter on both the interview and the performance portions of the test. So you're not scoring in standard range, you're scoring in high range. Okay? And that makes you an NIC Master, which would be, at the moment, the highest level of certification available to interpreters here in the United States, in most states. Okay? So that's some general introductory information about the NIC test, the National Interpreter Certification, and hopefully you'll do your research on RID's website to find out more specific details related to that, and I'll be chatting with you again very soon.